All right, so we just got done watching the cinematic for 2025. Welcome to Noxus, and now they put out a dev vlog. So I wanted to actually record my reaction to this because I wanted to talk about how different it's going. Well, I'm assuming it's going to be different because this is supposed to be the season where it's all going to be narrative. Riot's going to focus on the narrative of League of Legends. They're going to put effort into the story. They're going to try to make it all coherent, hopefully. And this is the season where they want to start focusing more on their storytelling. So this is the dev update I was most excited for because I'm hoping at least that we're gonna see some kind of mention of basically what's to come, or like what the idea behind all of it is, or maybe like at least like a teaser of what they mean by this being a narrative driven cinematic. Because we did get that scene at the end of the cinematic where it was just straight up like a scene, like an actual like narrative moment, instead of just like, oh, they're fighting with music in the background. Like this is like actually a moment in like them talking, and they played it as like a scene of something important. So we're gonna see uh how this basically all ships out. All right, so we're gonna basically hop in here and let's see what Riot has to say. I'm interested. I As you guys know, I'm a League player. Now actually kind of more like former League player. I played League since season 3. That's how deep into this fucking game I am. But I've recently kind of fallen out of playing the game, mostly because at this point, League of Legends as a game, although I love it, the way it plays, it just doesn't really grab my attention anymore. I've been playing it for way too long. Um, and there's just kind of like nothing in it that I really like. Swarm brought me back. Swarm was interesting. I really liked Swarm, but I'm more interested in the story of League of Legends, as in like the story available on Universe, and like the lore of the characters available, and like the background stories, more than I am about the actual game and its gameplay. So I don't really play League as often as I do back in the day, but I am still very interested in whatever story moments they have, especially now that they're doing the Grand Arcane retcon, where Arcane will become the new canon. Um, oh man, I have thoughts on that also. I liked Arcane a lot, by the way, but I just didn't really agree with making it canon. But now that we have it and it's canon, I hope that because the story we got of Piltover and Zon wasn't bad. Uh, it was definitely parts of it was definitely a lot better than what we already had. It's just more along the lines of I just hope that there's like a more time to breathe in the stories to come, because Arcane felt short. Arcane felt hella compressed. And I really like the stories of League of Legends. So if we're gonna tell the stories, let's give them time to flesh out and like do all of it, and not just like these small contained stories that basically have to rush through everything because there's too many characters. And when it comes to Noxus, the thing that scares me about Noxus is that Noxus is like the definition of too many characters, because you have all the Noxian champions, you have the Grey Legion champions, you have the Triferix champions, you have the Ducato champions and all like the champions tied to that storyline. You have the Black Rose champions and all the champions tied to that storyline. And then you have all the champions tied to the storyline of Noxian invasions. So now you have to include the Freljordians. Now you have to include Demacia fucking with them. You have to now include, well, them fucking with Demacia more like. And then you have to include them invading Shurima. And then you have to include them basically invading Ionia and all the champions included in that. And it's just, there's a lot. There's a lot. Noxus has a lot. Noxus has a lot to play with. So if we're gonna start telling narrative stories of Noxus, um, please do, but handle it with care. Piltover and Zon is a little bit more isolated from the rest of the world than Noxus is. So if Piltover and Zon still had a compression problem with too many characters. I can only imagine what the fuck Noxus is going to deal with. But, you know, they also said that not everything's going to be a show. So that's another reason why I'm really interested, because I want to know, well, if not everything's going to be a show, shows what it will be. Anyways, enough rambling from me. Let's just get in here. Check this out. I like the all the Noxian stuff they have in their offices. So there's one thing I'm gonna, by the way, I'm the type that pause a lot and talk, so if you don't like this kind of content, sucks to be you. I like that Riot likes to really flesh out their offices to reflect whatever they're doing in their games. It's always really nice, and they go the mile to get like really genuinely impressive stuff. If Riot ever closes in the future and all this shit becomes like collector's items sold on the market, oh my god, so many things I would want to grab. Oh, is that Mel? So that is Mel as a champion. I saw Arena. So like we see masks, character designs for Otacon. Okay, so welcome to Noxus. Let's see it. I'll try to do one watch over and then we'll go back and look at all the things that caught my eye.
I'm Paul, aka Pabro.
And I'm Andre, also known as Medler. And welcome back to another year of League.
As we talked about last November, we'll have 3 uniquely themed seasons each year that will immerse you in moments and journeys throughout Runeterra and our alternate universes. And for our first season, we're heading to my personal favorite region of Runeterra. Welcome to Noxus.
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow when you log on to Summoner's Rift, it'll look a bit different. As a brief recap from our last dev update, here's
there's a Blanc behind him.
Noxus has invaded the Rift with new art, music, structures.
So I guess that confirms that LeBlanc is going to be the visual update.
Otacon will spawn on either side of the map at 20 minutes in 2 unique forms with some permanent terrain changes.
Okay, so we actually learned about this in a previous update.
There are new runes, items, changes to teleport, and a new system called Feats of Strength that give you access to newer, more powerful boots.
Now, all of these changes go live tomorrow, so they'll be there for your ranked climb.
I'm looking at like the
which,
background
as a
stuff
reminder,
here.
This year, we're only going to have 1 ranked reset, which also happens tomorrow. Now, there are
Fair
also
enough.
some other changes you'll notice when you launch the game. We simplified the home screen, making it easier to track the season's progress, see what's new,
Oh
and
man.
just generally decreased overall clutter.
This season will last 8 patches, split into 2 acts that will have their own battle pass with various act-themed rewards like skins, borders, and more.
Okay.
We want to immerse you in Noxus by connecting your League experience both in and out of game. For example,
let's see it.
things you saw in yesterday's cinematic will be coming to League. If you haven't watched the cinematic, we recommend doing so before watching the rest of this video. Spoilers.
We have. Don't worry.
Without further ado, let's get into the first thing you saw yesterday that'll be coming to League this season. Mal Madada. Yesterday we saw Mal continue her journey after Arcane and arrive on the shores of Noxus, where her ambition will be tested among
Oh, whoa, that is a... Hold on, I said I wasn't going to pause, but... I gotta pause there. That is an outfit change and a half. In terms of aesthetic. Whoa, Mel. Oh, man, she turned the theatrics up to fucking 200. Oh, my God. She has, like, the entire draped cape here. Oh, my... Like... Has she ever really worn anything like this? I mean, she looks great. She looks really nice. I actually kind of like the aesthetic of this. This feels very, There's someone else who has a look like this, I feel. It might be like Janna, like Shurima Janna, that I'm thinking of. But she also kind of reminds me of, well, I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals recently. The garb she's wearing actually kind of reminds me of, like, the outfit Storm's wearing. Where it looks like, it is whatever... Like, her cape basically is, like, partly tied to her arm sleeves.
Mel will be arriving in-game next patch with a
Okay, wait, hold on. I need to see that.
new Noxus.
Are they going to do the
We wanted to
360 here?
reflect her embracing.
So... Okay, no, it's separate. But actually, no, it's kind of... It's like the arms have their own cape. They have the Medarda logo here. So I'm guessing this is like a Mel turning it up to 100 because she's becoming the new head of House Medarda, and so she needs to, like... play it up. Jesus Christ. You know, a lot of people called Mel the art, and I see Riot took that personally. and really made her the art.
Roots and heritage at this phase in her life.
Yeah.
Along with the new look, she'll also be bringing a new type of gameplay that we haven't had in League before: projectile reflection. The game team and arcane teams work together to figure out how Mel's power should be shown in both game and show, with game inspiring show and vice versa.
Okay.
You'll see her full kit tomorrow, but we want to dive into one of her abilities, Rebuttal.
Now, this spell reflects projectiles back against their source. So if
Okay.
Yasuo, From, or Samira can block it, Mal can reflect it.
Oh boy, that's gonna be fun.
Veigar's ultimate will target their original caster.
Oh!
Target abilities like Lux Binding or Nami Bubble are also shot back in their direction. Now, reflected spells will keep the behavior.
That's really big. We've never had anything like that ever.
A reflected Disintegrate will stun. Or Nidalee's Javelins will deal more damage the further they go, etc.
We can't wait for you to see her in game. Additionally, if you want to learn more about her family backstory in depth, make sure you check out the novel Mbessa, Chosen of the Wolf, when it releases in February.
Okay.
To celebrate the launch of the season of Noxus, Mel will be unlockable for free as one of the seasonal missions.
For now, though, we're going to hand things
Oh, so she's like basically ready.
We'll share more about what you can
That's interesting. I thought she would be part of Act 2. Nice. Got some typical Noxian cups and chalices. The Triferix logo, Mortal Bastion.
Hey everyone, I'm Chad, aka McIver, and I'm the seasons lead.
And
What's
I'm
up?
Bryce, aka Riot Athelos, longtime Rioter and League's newish creative director. I started this role about a year ago, but I've been at Riot and working with League for over 9. Over the years, one of the things that we've loved most about working on League is how much you love it. The world.
The guy's shirt is interesting, the guy on the right.
And so do we. League has such a rich and vast world, but sometimes that richness lacks the depth you and we think it deserves. And this is why we decided to build on that storytelling as we head into our first season.
Yeah, we want seasons to unify League in a way that connects the in-game and out-of-game experiences. You've already seen a lot of the ways that Season 1 is going to help Noxus come to life in League with gameplay updates.
As the season goes on, there'll be more in-game thematic narrative expressions, like the Reckoning Pits of Noxus, making their way into Arena, as well as out-of-game ones like motion comics and minigames.
Okay.
We're really excited by the reception to Spirit of Hearthhome last year. We loved giving you a unique introduction to Aurora.
No, because okay, I'm gonna have to pause here. Because the Spirit of Hearthhome, that game mode was really nice. It was really fun. It was like a nice little point-and-click adventure, and it was just. It didn't really tell us much about like the story, but it was a good way to basically tell us more about Aurora as a person, and then like her relationship with Ornn. And hearing them basically want to kind of retread these steps is actually really nice, because before, Riot has a history of saying they want to do more with the League of Legends story and then not, which is it's frustrating. It has been frustrating, but it's good to know that they genuinely like mean it this time, and that they're gonna actually try to put more story elements into League, or just like into like just putting it out there, just like making it more available. I hope this is something they stick to, genuinely. Like throughout all the seasons, I hope this is something they really stick to, and it's not just basically they're going to try it once and not really revisit it. I hope this is the scene where Riot has done a lot of investing in experimentation and building their resources. I hope this is the year where they actually cash in.
Experimenting with ways that bring our worlds to life and connect those in-game and out-of-game experiences. In Season 1, one of the ways that we'll do that is with a new genre of minigame that will debut in Act 2.
We also want to confirm something that you probably saw in yesterday's cinematic, specifically around LeBlanc. She's a beloved, iconic champion in League, but she's in need of some modernization.
Yeah, she is. She's in need of a lot of modernization. She's ugly as fuck.
We felt that a season focused on Noxus would be the perfect time to give LeBlanc a visual update.
Good.
You'll see more of LeBlanc in her new look later this season. Lastly, we also want to talk about where seasons can take us. This year is primarily focused on Runeterra, but we're really excited about the possibilities that alternate universes bring to seasons.
Yeah, just
fair.
Imagine a world of bees. Just literally bees. You're a bee.
Sure.
I'm a bee. We're all bees working for Queen Bee Syndra.
Oh, Syndra's getting a B
Had
skin?
me, lost me, you brought it back. We'll think about that.
Does
But I
Syndra
think
have a
we
B
should
skin?
Consider some other choices too.
Okay.
I don't think so.
But anyway, our goal really is to.
But I
deepen
think
the connection
it's probably
to
coming
the
now
game, and
that they
because
said
of
that.
We won't always be able to include every champion in every season.
Mm-hmm.
With the release of Mel, we'll have 170 champions. We'd rather have a stronger narrative for the season and do the champions justice, rather than be shallow across every single one that could fit.
Right.
So you're really excited for you to.
Yeah, no, right, because Riot has basically talked about this before, where the new champion releases aren't really giving much to the game, and like people's excitement for new champions isn't really there. Like, they don't really sell skins, they don't really kind of do much for the game. They're just basically a new champion that is played almost immediately and then dropped almost quickly, depending on how influential they are as a character, because they usually come out pretty broken, and then they either come out really pretty broken, or they come out completely underwhelming as hell. And then what will happen is that Riot will balance them, and then either if they were really broken, nerf them to the ground, or if they were completely just lackluster, they become a monster. But because it's like they don't really change the game or how people interact in the game, especially since whenever new champions drop, they're usually just banned all the time in draft or ranked. Maybe not ranked, but in draft, they're just usually just banned. So it's like, you make a new champion, if like all of that champion brings to the story in the game is just like their own personal color story, and like that contextualizes them, and then that's it. They just kind of like, it's like a drop in the ocean where it doesn't really make an effect per se. But if you make it about the season and like they have the characters being brought in from the season, like Mbessa and Mel, well, people are gonna care more about playing Mbessa and Mel because they just watched them in Arcane and in the cinematic, and like the stories I'm assuming coming forward are gonna be including Mel at least, maybe not Mbessa, because I don't know. They still haven't really. They left it pretty open ended about whether or not Mbessa is canonically dead, but I guess we'll see.
Experience what the team has built, and we can't wait to see what you think as we start on this journey.
New mini game though.
We'll hand things over to Cosmetics. Who
can't wait to see what that's about.
You can expect.
Oh well, that's Magnificent LeBlanc. I believe that's the name of that skin. Looks nice. Previous version was ugly. Is that a Kog'Maw skin I just saw? Sorry, wait, was that Kog'Maw? That looks like either that's Nefiri because of the earring. You can tell because of the earring. So Nefiri's getting a hot dog skin. That is really funny, actually. That's actually really funny. You can see like cucumbers or pickles, maybe. Okay, that's pretty funny.
Hey everyone, I'm Steph, aka 100 Piece Nuggets, the cosmetics lead.
And I'm Tom, aka Riot Hylia, and art director on cosmetics.
Whose
Today
swords
we
are
have a bunch of
those?
skins-related
That's a
topics
sword
to
and an
cover,
axe.
including this season's prestige list, exalted skins, and how our champion first philosophy will work for seasons.
So unsurprisingly, many of the skins this season are heavily focused on Noxus. The first set of those you'll see are the Mask of the Black Rose skins.
Right. I love the Elise one, by the way.
Some of the champions getting those skins
Yeah, oh my god.
Cinematic, which is
We talked about the Elise,
but some of them
but
weren't.
that, oh my
When
god,
choosing
it's so great.
champions who weren't, we focused on champions who would attend a Black Rose Masquerade Ball and make sense in that thematic. Because
Right.
really, is Ezreal not going to a party with a lot of things to steal? And of course, Renata Glass would be rubbing elbows with Noxie and Elite.
She's a businesswoman. She's got perfume to sell.
Exactly.
These are
True.
going to be our first Battle Pass reward skins.
They weren't in the cinematic though, interestingly enough.
While Samira, Renata Glass, and Vladimir will be earnable with the paid version, with Katarina as the prestige capstone for the paid Act 1 Battle Pass.
Okay.
Oh, okay, we also want to share this season's upcoming prestige skins. Katarina and Darius will have earnable prestige skins through the battle passes, while
Interesting.
Cassiopeia and Kiana will have prestiges available for Mythic Essence.
And speaking of prestige skins, last year we shared that we're going to be uncoupling prestige skins from a base skin.
Yeah, so pretty often we would find ourselves feeling limited because the base skin thematic and the high fashion prestige universe would sometimes feel like they were clashing. This sort of led to us feeling that some skins felt that we'd just thrown them into a lapel jacket and called it a day.
So
yeah,
we're working on
but
a few
I mean,
different
it's not wrong.
skins and are looking forward to your feedback on where we take that.
Basically, a lot of the prestige skins are essentially, here's the skin, but now they're wearing Louis Vuitton. You know what I'm saying? Which for some of them worked. For the True Damage skins, it worked because like they're already basically in high fashion, and then now they're even like in higher fashion. But for some of the other ones, like Porcelain, it just kind of felt strange. Strange is a word for it. Although I will say, Prestige Porcelain Kindred was the better version because it kept them more like Lamb and Wolf. Well, the normal Porcelain just kept her as like a person, a human, which I didn't really like. It wasn't my personal thing.
First, we could preserve Prestige as its own universe and thematic, but try to infuse just a little bit more of the base thematic into it. Like the upcoming
Prestige being its own universe is going to be great for our wallets, by the way.
The second option would be the flip of that. So moving away from the Prestige universe and going harder on the thematic, but with just some more flair. An example of this is the upcoming Katarina skin, where she's wearing the bleeding edge of Noxian fashion, just like in the cinematic.
Finally, we could try to find a mix between the two based on what would best fit the champion and theme. We'd love to know which option you think would be best, and we're really looking forward to hearing your thoughts as we figure out where to take Prestige skins in the future.
Okay, beyond Prestige skins, we obviously
I agree with the idea that Prestige skins should be the same thematic, but just like dialed up to like 200. It's just I'm going to have to see personally what that even means, because I don't really like. I feel like the answer would be different for each thematic, but the Katarina one basically being the same thing, the same thematic, but she's like in more high fashion. I guess that is true, but then that basically kind of feels like it's the same thing as what the Prestige skins were before, where it's just them in higher fashion. But I guess the thematic kind of like lends itself to literally just repeat it, and nothing really changes. So that's what I'm like, I'm gonna have to wait to see like a future example to really have an opinion on that one.
To give you some variety, we'll have a mix of skins including returning thematics, like a fresh recipe for cafe cuties, and some completely new thematics.
These non-seasonally themed skins.
Yep, there's an Fury skin again.
Deliver with our champion first philosophy.
Do you want to peek?
Yes, please.
Okay, so for April Fools this year, we wanted to pay off Shaco's mischievous nature and lean into his deep lore for his first legendary skin.
Deep lore? Deep lore? Shaco? Deep lore? Are we being serious? Are we being serious? Shaco? Deep lore? Wait, they said April Fools. Okay, they're fucking with us. Okay, gotcha. It's a joke. Gotcha. I understand it.
It's cats?
It's
cats.
Okay, yeah.
So we know you're probably
They're fucking around.
Why
Gotcha.
is Shaco cats? And the answer is obvious. He's got boxes. And if it fits, he sits.
We had a ton of fun working on this skin. And
yeah,
some of our own
that's kind of funny. That's cute.
As vocal talent.
Oh, that's adorable.
So enough cats, anyways. As we shared last year, even though we're only doing one ranked reset, we're still going to be doing 3 Victorious skins across the 3 seasons. The Victorious skins will remain their own thematic, regardless of the season they're tied to. Since they have their own thematic design,
that makes sense.
It's already really clear what a Victorious skin is when you hear about it.
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense for us to tie this to a specific season's theme as well.
We also wanted to share who's going to be receiving an Exalted skin this season. Coming up first is Radiant Serpent Set to celebrate the Year of the Snake. And while we don't want to spoil what the exact skin is for our second Exalted skin of the season, we do want to share that it'll be Mordekaiser.
Oh, interesting. Makes sense, Noxian champion.
He's going to be coming to the Rift in a way that Runeterra hasn't seen in like a bajillion years.
That's it for us today, so we'll hand things off to esports to talk a bit about their plans for the year.
Thanks so much for watching, and welcome to Noxus.
All right, I'm trying to think of what does even means, like, hasn't seen in a way in bajillion years. What is he, like a human? Is he coming back as a human?
I'm Chris Greeley, head of Global League of Legends Esports.
And I'm Waylon Roselle.
Because technically, if they're talking about like narratively in a bajillion years, they can basically do an Exalted skin where it's Mordekaiser before he became the Death God. Because like for those of you who don't know, Mordekaiser's whole thing is that he was the ruler of the Immortal Bastion before it became the Immortal Bastion. Oh no, he created the Immortal Bastion. Sorry, he created the Immortal Bastion. He was basically like this big strong, mean, I'm paraphrasing as hell, big, strong, mean fucking warrior guy who fought everyone and killed everyone to become basically the big bad man, and he wanted to go down in the halls of Valhalla as literally a god, because he just wanted to enter his forever promised lands of Valhalla, where he gets to be in the halls with all of his beautiful warrior mentality rewards and shit. And he died, and there was none of that. And he was so mad at the fact that there was none of that he basically became the god of death, I guess. Not really the god of death, but like he became deathless, and came back and was just like, I'm going to create my own Valhalla, because there was no Valhalla with blackjack and hookers, of course. So he essentially kind of came back, and so if they want to basically make, and he came back as the armor, by the way, that's why he's like a suit of armor. He's the Revenant in the armor. But if they want to do a exalted skin where it's him before all that, where he's still a mortal being, that would be interesting. It would. To fit his model, like his identity, they're gonna have to make him fucking jacked out of his mind, which would make sense, actually. That would make sense for the kind of person that he is. I would be interested to see what that means.
Chief Operating Officer of Esports, and welcome to the start of an incredible season for LoL Esports.
This year we've got plans to bring you even more unforgettable moments.
I'm not too much of a I'm not too interested in esports, but I'll let it play.
So let's dive into what's in store for LoL Esports this year and beyond.
One of the biggest changes we have coming this season is the full Fearless draft in Split 1.
We want Fearless to bump up the competition to a new level by banning champions picked in previous games within a best-of series. This change will force teams to adapt and bring out their full champion pools.
That means if you see like a Renekton and a Cassante matchup in Game 1, you won't see it for the rest of the series.
Interesting.
This will test teams' creativity, their adaptability, and shake up the meta across the board.
That's kind of interesting.
Not only will we see Fearless draft in every region in Split 1, but it will also be utilized at our new international event.
The First Stand tournament will take place from March 10th to March 16th at Lal Park in Seoul, Korea. Our goal is for First Stand to be an unforgettable moment this year, with guaranteed best of matches between the top teams from Split 1, competing in matchups that will showcase the very best of early season League of Legends esports.
And beyond just exciting games, the stakes are higher than ever. The winning team will also secure a second bye for their region at MSI 2025, letting them advance directly to the bracket stage.
We can't wait to see which team will rise to the challenge and make their mark as the inaugural champion of First Stand.
We have an explainer video out now that dives deeper into Fearless Draft and the First Stand tournament, so be sure to check it out if you want more details.
Yep.
First up, MSI 2025 is heading to Vancouver, Canada from June
Cool.
27th.
That's a beautiful
to July
city.
12th. This will be our first return to Canada for a live LoL Esports event since 2017, and we can't wait to experience the Vancouver crowd's excitement in person.
And of course, it wouldn't be a LoL Esports update without Worlds. This year, we're heading to some of China's most iconic cities. Play-ins and the Swiss stage will kick off in Beijing, followed by the quarterfinals and semifinals in Shanghai. Finally, the journey will culminate
those are some tall
with the
buildings.
finals in Chengdu.
We'll share more details on specific venues.
Yeah, again, I don't really care about the esports for League.
LoL Esports to these incredible cities.
So this is all.
On the topic of bringing LoL Esports to amazing places, we're excited to.
I'm just gonna go ahead and skip it because I don't really care about the esports, genuinely. I don't have anything to say about that.
Next, modes. As we move into seasons, we want to make sure that there's always a variety of gameplay available.
Right.
So, starting with the next patch, there will always be another game mode available to play in addition to Summoner's Rift and ARAM.
So
Good.
all random Earth will be turning on next patch and will be available throughout Act 1 of the season. Then in Act 2, we'll have the Arena update. Speaking of which, Arena will be returning with a fresh coat of Noxian paint and a new
Right.
Noxus map. themed
Yeah,
after the
nice.
Gladiator bits, with
That's
its
good.
own maps to-
Yeah, because, like, Arena is literally Noxus's thing. Arena is so much Noxus's thing that it's quite literally, like, insane that it took, what is this? Like, this is, like, Arena's third appearance? Yeah, the fact that it took Arena's third appearance for Noxus theme to be shown is, well, I mean, I guess if they were planning for a Noxus themed season, it makes sense why they waited so long. But yeah, no, like, Arena is in Noxus is like, not Noxus' whole thing, but, like, if there's gonna be a region that honors arenas, There's quite literally 2 that I can think of off the top of my head, and that's Noxus for sure, because they have pit fighter arenas, and maybe Shurima if you want to bring up Renekton's like tribe of people kind of going into their little 1v1s. But I don't think they do like arenas. I think they just kind of like go into a pit, fuck each other up type shit. So yeah, I am not surprised that Arena's coming back with a Noxus coat of paint. It should be all Noxus, in my opinion. If they could get away with having all the maps basically be Noxus themed, that would be perfect for me.
Specific mechanic.
Additionally, on all arena maps, we're also introducing a system called Guests of Honor, where you can vote on which famous Noxian you'd like to alter the rules of each game. Now that system mostly replaces cameos, which we felt were pretty hit or miss.
Yeah,
we'll also
they
be
were.
adding new items and augments, as well as changes to maps like Koi Pond, based off some pretty clear feedback received during the last arena run. We don't want to spoil everything now.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for details on the changes coming to Arena when it's closer to launch.
Gotcha.
So, that's the start of Season 1. We're also still doing the usual gameplay updates and balance changes as we monitor how everything is landing.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Excited for the future of Seasons and what it means for League.
Right, balancing, TM.
And while we hope you enjoy Noxus, don't worry. We're taking you somewhere very different for Season 2. But more on that later. Thank you so much for everything, and we'll see you on the Rift.
Or in the Noxian Reckoning Pits.
Yep.
Bye.
Okay, so, yeah, that makes sense. That next season's gonna be something different. So, they said when they were talking about seasons before, not in this video, but when they're talking about seasons before, that they were gonna try to have each season kind of like more or less, at least in this year, the seasons of this year will be more or less tying into each other. So if it's like Noxus, judging from the cinematic, judging from what LeBlanc was saying, it might be Noxus into Freljord. It would be interesting if they do Freljord. We'll have to see. Is there anything in the end here? Nope. Okay, so it might be like Noxus into Freljord. I just wanted to really quick take a look at Mel again. They gave her a new hairstyle. Who the oh, that's New LeBlanc. Okay, I see.
Among the great houses.
Yeah, that's New LeBlanc. Vladimir in his mask skin, I believe. That's him in his Black Rose mask skin. So let's see. So she's about reflecting, I see. Reflecting spells. I'm assuming
Game team and arcane teams work together to figure out how Mel's power should be shown in both.
So that just looks like it's a recall animation.
Game and show.
Oh, actually, maybe not. Maybe that might not be a recall animation, but
the spell reflect.
Okay, so it just might be like the way she gets the Super Saiyan glow whenever she turns or does a reflect. And I'm assuming that reflect is not an ultimate ability. It's probably like a W or an E. I also noticed that the projectile itself actually kind of gets a glow to show you that she reflected it. And then they get marked. So I'm guessing that it's basically you reflect something onto them, and if you hit a marked target, they take bonus damage probably. And the fact that it follows their target, if it's a targeted ability or if it's a skill shot, it like basically like actually looks like it had some curve to it. The Lux Q that she threw, because Lux's Q doesn't turn. Like, let's see. Yeah, you see that? Like, maybe it just reflected downward, but it also looked like it had some curvature to it because she was still running. No, I guess it just kind of like, yeah, I guess it just appeared that it might have had curvature, but I don't think it really did. So anything Yasuo's wall can block, Samir's wall can block, she can reflect. Alright, that's pretty interesting. As an Ornn main, I hate my fucking life, because that means that my ult's just going to be even more useless, because they're just going to, the second I call it, they'll reflect it away. So, the LeBlanc redo I see here. I actually kind of really like the direction they're going with LeBlanc. Yeah, there you go. So I'm assuming this is just normal LeBlanc. I actually like the direction they're going. I kind of miss the crown that she had on her head. Because, like, the crown that she had on her head basically kind of, it basically showed off the way that, the top of the Triferix, I'm pretty sure, was, like, what her crown was. Or at least the Triferix had the top of her crown as an attachment. They don't seem to have that part of her symbol anywhere on her. They opted more to just do more of the rose, which I actually kind of like. I also like the detail that her cape looks shattered here, as if it's a solid material. It doesn't look shattered here, interestingly enough. Well, this is because they removed the cape. This is like the outside of the cape. It might just be that they didn't texture it. Because her hair kind of looks less textured too. Same thing with the hair piece. But it looks nice. She has her claws, her golden claws. I wonder if her clones, or at least like whenever she's dashing, they're gonna make it look more shadowy. Whenever she's doing her dashing, I see like this is probably like her cue when she is this is probably like her little rod thing. This little ornament above her rod is probably what it looks like when she's either shooting it or like throwing a cue. Maybe I'm assuming her cue is gonna come from the sigil now instead of like from her hands, like the way she did before. I will say, interestingly enough, LeBlanc, as someone who does not want to be who never shows her true face, you do love to stand out. You do love to stand out. And I do like this like super big dramatic asymmetrical collar thing as part of her design. Because it's like part of like the collar is asymmetrical, same thing with the cape. I actually do like that as part of her design because they actually kind of retained that from previous LeBlanc. I think it actually looks nice here. She has a lot of skins. This is probably a crazy undertaking for them. But yeah, the way LeBlanc looked before, I think she definitely could use with the update. Darius is getting a prestige skin. Interestingly enough. So yeah, they leaked, they talked some things. Basically, they just talked more about like wanting to work more with the narrative, and they mentioned that there's gonna be like modes and other forms of media. So I have high hopes. I really think Riot is making a good choice by investing into their storytelling here, and I can't wait to see the fruits of their labor with all of it. I hope it's all like actually like I hope they commit to it all. I hope none of it's basically not to say that they're gonna half-ass it or anything, but I just hope that it's committed to it and that they basically don't hold back. If they're gonna kind of tackle the Noxus story, I hope that they basically do the most they can to kind of write an actual story of what's going on, have like the story of League of Legends get kind of progressed through all this, and that it kind of all basically comes to a head by the end of probably by the end of the year. Because if the next year's like seasons might be alternate universes, I'm assuming they're more or less aiming to have the results of everything that's going on within these 3 seasons concluded, or at least like left off in a place where you can go from there later on in the future. I hope it's not just a bunch of one-off stories that basically don't really expand things further and leaves things even more up in the air. But let's be optimistic. I want to be optimistic about this. I love Riot's stories. I love the story of League of Legends. I hope it all basically flourishes from here on out. But yeah, this is where I'm gonna leave this video for now. Yeah, it's just like a little thing I wanted to do. I don't really usually do reaction content, but I had things to say that I wanted to talk about because I really like League story. I've liked it for a really long time, and I can't contain my excitement of Riot wanting to basically actually implement their story into their games and invest more into the story outside of just like basically the yearly cinematic and like some color stories. And not to say that the color stories were bad. They were really well written. They were like better written than like a lot of the stories that are basically out there and consumable now. It's just the fact that you would have to know to go to Universe to read the wall of text that it is, instead of, you know, them kind of promoting it. But that's all whatever. That's all past stuff. Hopefully it's actually staying to be past stuff. We'll basically talk more about Mel and LeBlanc once they show more of those characters. So far it's just basically Mel actually looks like she's basically ready to go. So we're gonna have to see how that all shapes out when they release more about her. But yeah, we can find, if I decide to cover more of this, those videos we posted here on the Clips channel. Yeah, if you are interested in seeing more of that, consider subscribing. And I appreciate you listening to my ramblings about League's story in this dev update, and also about the cinematic. I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios, grandios.